Palma. Oh,
man.
that's unfair, and Palma 7 points in the game.
To Del Fuentes.
Oh, wow.
Caloocan takes the shot and knocks it down. Caloocan is open. 3-point.
Oh, my goodness.
Face a jumper by Robin Celis. Natalviano has time. Now it's Martin Rosso. Turnaround jumper. Oh my goodness.
We continue our coverage here at the Pasay Astrodome as two teams in the north look to bounce back today. The Marikina Shoe Masters, after that impressive win against Imos in Abra, fell down to Pangasinan in their last matchup. Itong Caloocan naman had their 4-game winning run snapped at the hands of the Quezon Huskers. Marikina squaring off with Caloocan here dito sa Marliga Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. Ken Pangilinan with Javi Palanian at courtside. We have Ms. Lyra Punsalan. Javi, pinag-usapan na natin some of the key players for Marikina not in uniform for today, para dito naman sa Caloocan. Especially with things heating up in the north, they need to keep up here.
Yeah, naging importante yung naging pagkatalo nila against Quezon, especially because it was one of the top contenders in the league, no? And posibleng makalaban nila if umabot sila sa national championship. So Caloocan will come into this game with trying to throw the heavy weight of their ire against Marikina, who are trying also to move up into a play-in spot in the Northern Division. They want to tie Valenzuela in the Northern Division with a win here against the Batang Kankalu.
Marikina at 3-12, samantala Caloocan with 10 wins and 5 losses. You're watching us live on the official MPBL Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also currently on Solar Sports. And Javi, talakay na natin itong Marikina Shoe Masters in their last game. Like I mentioned, kalaban nila ang Pangasinan. Actually, they were pretty much competitive in the first half. They had a 9-0 run that brought them to within 5 points in the second quarter, pero Pangasinan was able to break away in the third quarter.
Yeah, they really struggled in this game, and they came into this matchup actually winning 2 of their last 3 games, but Pangasinan just sent them back to earth in this one. Shot worse from the field, 37.8%, while allowing the Heat Waves to score on 44 field goal attempts. That's 13 more than the Marikina Shoe Masters on a 49.4% clip, and they were badly out-rebounded as well, minus 13 in that department, as well as outscored inside the paint. Alam naman natin that Marikina also relies a lot on their inside incursions, aside from the fact that they have good perimeter players as well, but they have to make sure that they disallow itong Caloocan those incursions inside the paint, because we know how talented the front line of the Batang Kankalu is.
And that 14-0 run was the difference para sa Pangasinan in winning over Marikina. Ngayon tungo tayo sa kabilang panig, no? Caloocan, Batang Kankalu. They went on the road taking on the Quezon Huskers. And Javi, this was a putrid start for the Batang Kankalu, in which they were only able to score 24 points in the first half.
Yeah, and that continued in the second half, yung kanilang struggles. They were down by 20 at the end of 3 quarters, and down by as much as 28 points actually in the loss before they made a comeback attempt in the latter part of that game. But they shot worse from the field, 20 out of 61 compared to the 27 out of 67 by the Quezon Huskers. And look at that, the 3-point field goal story in that game. You allow a team 16 threes, it's pretty hard to stop them, especially if you don't dominate the glass. And here they also turned the ball over 4 more times than the Huskers, which allowed Quezon some more points offensively.
Let's see if Marikina could keep up, or will Caloocan finally bounce back and try to keep in step with the top 4 teams in the North Division. Now let's go to Richard Tampos to introduce our starters.
Second game here at the Cuneta Astrodome. It's Marikina taking on Caloocan, live on Solar Sports. This is Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 7. Here are the starters. Let's begin with Marikina Shoe Masters. At guard number 77, Jetro Escoto. Also at guard number 31, Nem De La Cruz. Forward number 25, Raf Go. Playing center number 4, Carl Peñano. Small forward number 14, Silas Zigzag Sabale. The Shoemasters is led by Angelo Nebres. Assistant coaches, Joseph Ochada, John Paul Basila, and Fernando Bunyag. The team managers, AJC and Monroe Quesson. The team owner is Honorable Councilor Elvis Tolentino. Now for Caloocan, Batang Kangkalu. At guard number 30, Jeff Manday. The other guard number 29, Joko Tayungtong. At forward number 11, Paul Sanga. The other forward number 1, Romel Kalahat. Coming in at center number 5, Ronnie Machas. The Batang Kangkalu is led by Mike Sagigit, assisted by Philip de la Cruz and Mark Orias. Team manager, Mac Robert Dichandu. Team coordinator, Jeremy T. The team owners, Dennis Flores and Congressman Oka Malapitan. The game officials
Starting
are
5 brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory, feel more game with 1xBet. Marikina with Jetro Escoto, Nem de la Cruz. At the front line, Carl Peñano, Rafgo, and Silas Sabale. Para sa Caloocan, Joko Tayamtong, Jeff Banday, Ronnie Matias, Romel Kalahat, and Paul Sanga. Our officials for this ball game, Jay Castroverde, Alan Maronilla, Karina Martin. Fourth man is Leonardo Layosa. And Jeff Manday has put in some strong performances the last 3 games. While Marikina, let's see if they could rectify their tough outing against Pangasinan, especially with key players out for them, as Jetro Escoto will begin the offense para dito sa Marikina. Sabale, bounce pass to Rafgo. Rafgo, pabandang tira, it will roll out, and Joko Tayongtong back after not playing against Quezon with the basketball, gives it up to Jeff Manday. Paul Sanga, catch and shoot free, short, rebound Rafgo.
Paul Sanga only scored 5 points in that game against Quezon, although he was perfect from the field, but you expect Paul Sanga to attempt more shots, especially because yan ang isa sa mga kulang sa laro ng Caloocan Batang Kangkalu. Di naman natin mapagkakaila yung kanilang production inside the paint, but for their big men to have an easier time scoring inside, they need to have more outside production.
That guy, Romel Kalahat, has thrived under Coach Mike Sagigit.
Oh yeah, for sure. This triangle system has benefited his capabilities and has made it easier for him to go inside the paint and not just make plays for himself, but also setting up his teammates. One of the more underrated passers in the big man position here in the league.
Carl Peñano got fouled by Ronnie Matias, sending him to the line. From what I understand, sila Mike Machon, Julius Tiburcio, not with them anymore. Saka si Nobleza, no?
Yeah, as well as Janelle Bauzon.
Si Bauzon tagal na kasi talagang di naglalaro sa kanila eh.
But they officially already released him. A pity because those guys were pretty solid players para sa Marikina, but the Shoemasters just deciding to move on and trying to stick with this squad. This team has some pretty solid players, but the experience factor has prevented them from actually finishing games with a win.
You can't leave this guy wide open. Jeff Banday burying his first triple.
Banday is averaging 33.8% from the outside this season. Also, one of 3 guys averaging in double figures for the Batang Kangkalu. He tied his average in their last game against Quezon, but only shot 3 out of 10 from the field.
In his last 3 games, 12.7 points, 2.7 threes, on 54.2% from the field, 57.1 from the 3-point area. Yan si Jeff Banday. 3-point shooting has been, it comes and goes para dito sa Caloocan. Paul Sanga though buries another one from the left wing.
I tell you, if Paul Sanga can get it going in a more efficient manner from the outside for Caloocan, well, for him to do that, first he has to take more shots too. I mean, you're playing almost 15 to 18 minutes a game. You gotta be able to make sure that, you know, you get in some pretty decent number of attempts.
And it's really astonishing that Caloocan, as Kalahat scores his second field goal, is not even in the top 10 in terms of 3-point makes, considering they have Paul Sanga, Jeff Banday, and Jeremy Cabana.
Even Chris Biton, throw him into that mix.
De La Cruz off the curl. It's 10-6 for the Caloocan Batang Kangaloo.
I expect this Marikina team to really try and put up a fight game in and game out. We've seen that this season as we see another setup of the pitch post action para sa Caloocan. Minintis lang ang parehong attempts near the basket. But you know, the Shoemasters, they're a pretty gritty squad. Despite the lack of experience, makikita mo na talagang lalaban sila at lalaban.
Zyla Sabale, homegrown against Jeff Banday. 5 on their shot block. Sabale in trouble. Great pass though. Peñano able to escape and score.
Naunahan niya doon sa pwesto si Ronnie Matias, using that angle on the right side to be able to spin towards his strong hand and still finish at the basket.
Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
And of course, the gamble didn't work there para sa big man na si Ronnie Matias. Carl Peñano making him pay for that.
Joko Tengtong did not play against Quezon. And it was so important dahil nga wala na nga si Chris Biton. Hirap na hirap yung guards ng Caloocan in that game against Quezon. Chris Torado also had to play behind Irvin Palencia there.
And we know how Coach Eric Gonzalez shuffles his players during games, especially in the backcourt position. Mabilis yung naging palitan ng tao niya because he wants his players, especially those playing the guard spots, to really pressure up top, to give their all. Kaya walang tinitira yung mga player ng Quezon pag nasa loob sila.
12-8. Caloocan with a 4-point lead. Banday catch and shoot. Short. Rafgo comes away with the board. This is R.R. Casajeros. Try to bounce it off to Carl Peñano. He recovers. No look pass intended for R.R. But not in sync in that one.
Could have been a good opportunity for them to score. Casajeros using that pick wisely, but did not make the right decision in my opinion.
Play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Great backdoor cut. Banday did not have the angle though. Baliktad din yung pectus. Escoto. Past Irvin Palencia. Great kick out pass. Casajeros. No good. Bounce pass ni Sanga papunta kay Palencia. Throws it back out to Paul. Past the halfway point of the first period. Romel Kalahat puts it up and gets it in, plus a foul.
Overpowering Rafgo in that one. Faking the handoff to Irvin Palencia. And going to the block where he is at one of his best forms this season. Ito si Romel Kalahat taking Rafgo to school here.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. Really took some time for Romel Kalahat to adjust to the MPBL brand of basketball, but those are his averages. Second leading scorer para dito sa Caloocan.
Well, in my opinion, they just did not get a lot more opportunity than he's getting right now in the previous seasons. Nakikita ko na yung kanyang potential dun sa mga konting minuto na linaro niya for his previous teams. But he was just playing against greater talent in his former squads. That's why he wasn't able to get the chances to really show out. Pero dito sa Caloocan, talagang nag-blossom na siya into one of the top performers of this team.
Mabandang tira, pumasok yan para kay Jeromer Cabanag. At lumaki na ang kalamangan ng Caloocan, up to 9 points.
Solid screen set by Jesse Sumoda, which enabled Cabanag a free shot at the perimeter. This is now a 9-point lead for the Caloocan Batang Kakalo.
Coach Mike Sagigit brought an interesting analogy in the recent training of Caloocan. Be tamed as a lion but act as a hungry spider with a killer instinct, he said, emphasizing na dapat lahat ng galaw may production. Bagong saltaman siya sa Caloocan, he's confident in the team's strength na magaling na ang Caloocan with or without me kasi 3 solid years na silang magkakasama. He said at ang kailangan na lang daw nila ngayon ay consistency. He aims to blend in his coaching style quickly, trusting that the group's familiarity with each other will help fast-track that process. His simple but powerful reminder to his squad, pag pinasok sa loob, respect your minutes for your team. Back to you guys.
And you know, to the credit of the players, maraming salamat by the way, Lyra, for that report. They have bought in dito sa gustong gawin ni Coach Mike Sagigit. And this is a intricate system that they're running right now. Pero, you know, with a bunch of veterans, talagang nag-lock in itong mga manlalaro niya. As you see here, that pass by Palencia, but Sumoda blows the layup and then gave up that foul.
It wasn't very difficult for Coach Mike Sagigit, I believe, in inculcating the triangle offense into their system because of the fact that a number of players on this roster are actually already experienced playing with it. Paul Sanga and Red Cervantes played under Coach Glenn Capasso in FEU along with Coach Louie Gonzalez, and yun rin ang sistema na ginamit nila doon. So I think, you know, teaching it to the other players, aside from the fact that marami na ring veterano dito that are really very intelligent players as well, made it easier for them to move forward and get used to playing with the triangle.
Patrick De Mayuga gets it to Carl Peñano. This is Jomel Landayan who spins into trouble. Turnover against Marikina. Brian Enriquez fires and nails that free from the right corner. 6 turnovers already para laban sa Marikina.
Rewarded with that good defensive stop that he had there. He was one of the guys responsible for making that good denial on Jomel Landayan, which forced him into that turnover.
Unang 7 yung turnovers nitong Marikina after that bad pass.
This is simply a spot that Marikina doesn't want to be in. Caloocan is already very good in the half court, but if you allow them points in transition, then they can be very hard to stop.
Sumoda gets it to JJ Manlangit. JJ cashes in from mid-range.
This is also a guy that I believe if he experiences an uptick in production can be very good para sa Caloocan. Si JJ Manlangit, but scored there by Marikina.
12 lamang after that made basket by the Shoemasters. Kanina pa nalilibre ang bahagi na yan, but Palencia airballs that free. Makes up for it by poking the ball loose at the baseline. Former St. Clair run-up. Fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme X Pop, personal karaoke speaker, everyday karaoke. Mayuga with a strong take. Now, tatakbo ulit ang Caloocan. Great pass, Manlangit setting up Cabanag. 14-point lead. 60% shooting from the field for Caloocan. Marikina, not bad, 50%, but 7 more attempts para dito sa Caloocan. Turnovers have been the buzzkill right now for Marikina.
And the main reason why Marikina has had fewer attempts at the basket in this game.
RR. Chomel. It's Jeremy Cabanag. 5 on their shot clock. 8th turnover against the Shoemasters. Nobody running back except Landayan, but too late to challenge that shot by Palencia.
Jomel Landayan is usually a very trusted ball handler, but the pressure that Caloocan is playing with right now just so intense, preventing any other option by the Marikina Shoemasters in the half court. So what Marikina wants to try to do here is to try and push the basketball, pero di rin nila madepensahan yung half court offense ng Batang Kangkalu.
They get a reprieve, Marikina. Penalty na ang Caloocan. RR good on the first free throw. Counselor coach Elvis Tolentino staying. And Gabby Espinas, former playing head coach. 1 out of 2 at the line for Casajeros. Manlangit, susugod, high off the glass and in, plus a foul.
One of the more versatile players that we have here in the MPBL, can play multiple positions. See how he's able to handle that basketball and take it all the way to the rack against the taller Marlon Basco, using that side step to gain the advantage.
Kuya Ril Cervantes in street clothes. JJ completes the three-point play, 29-11. 18-point lead for the Caloocan Batang Kangkalu. Bong Basco gets it to Roque. Landayan. Entry pass at the post. Kudal, kick out pass. Bong Basco for 3. Book it.
That has been one of the more reliable sources of offense in recent years para kay Mong Basco. That three-point shot has improved dramatically over the seasons.
Yung kabataan nito, high flyer to.
Oo.
Played for Iloilo back then in the NBA. As that free is put in by JJ Manlangit.
And Manlangit is using his youth here as an advantage against the more experienced Bong Basco. That time taking him off the bounce and scoring outside.
Another turnover against Marikina. Caloocan off and running. JJ Manlangit having himself a huge quarter.
10 points now in the game, just in time before the final buzzer sounded here in the first quarter.
Frustrations boiling over on the side of Marikina. And tough times continue para dito sa Shoemasters.
And they really limited itong Marikina to just 14 points here in the quarter while scoring 34 of their own. Talking about the Caloocan Batang Kangkalu, this guy was very crucial in them establishing what is now a 20-point lead for the guys in orange. Maybe the New Jerseys have something to do with it.
34-14 was the score in quarter number 1. Caloocan with the lead. Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. Caloocan taking it right to Marikina in the first 10 minutes. Congressman Oka Malapitan and Mayor Halong Malapitan. Counselor Coach Elvis Tolentino. And of course, Head of Operations and Security respectively, Erma Oreta and Rudy Distrito. Second quarter underway. Field goal shooting. Yun nga, hindi naman masama yung field goal shooting ng Marikina pero plus 10 in attempts itong Caloocan.
And the reason behind that is because of the 9 turnovers that Marikina committed, while Caloocan, that's their first turnover of the game.
5 on the floor for Marikina. Landayan, Roque, Mong Basco, Patrick Timayuga, and Stephen Kudal. Muntik na namang maagaw. Mong Basco facing up. Not even close on that shot. Baseball pass from Sumoda to Cabanag. Between the legs, stepping back for free off the heel though. Kudal secures the board. Landayan at the controls. Homegrown player, Jomel Landayan. The denial by Cabanag forcing that pass to the direction of Pat Timayuga, who fires a three short. Tayong Tong with the rebound. Joko with Jeremer Cabanag, Jesse Sumoda, JJ Manlangit, and Chagi Laude. Sumoda short on that three as well. Timayuga tracks it down.
You see that despite the miss, which is supposedly a good chance for Marikina to run, kung gaano kabilis bumababa ang Caloocan to prevent the fast break opportunity.
Naka-matchup na agad eh. Foul call though against Caloocan. Jet Rescoto returns. Junbon Subre, his first appearance for Caloocan. Yeah, these are new threads for Caloocan. Rapco returns to the game as well. Di Mayuga attempts another one. That one pops out. Manday. The push. Kick out to Chagi Laude. Tayong Tong inside. Did not have the angle for the layup. Escoto in transition. Di Mayuga. Tres ulit. Wala pa din.
You see there, it could have easily been a 3-on-2 or 3-on-1 break advantage Marikina. Pero ang bilis bumaba ng mga player ng Batang Kangkalu. Bonsubre could have just stayed behind and let his other teammates deal with that fast break opportunity for the Shoemasters. But no, Caloocan is out here on a mission to try and prove themselves that they can be one of the top defensive teams than they already are right now.
Marikina has missed their last 4 attempts from beyond the arc. Bonsubre phasing up and knocks down that mid-range jumper.
Naisa rin niyang sanay sa triangle offense, something he played with under Coach Brit Roma in high school with the San Beda Red Cubs.
Gave up that foul against Stephen Kudal. Part of that Magic 6.
Oh yeah, kasama ni Dave Moralde. And I think Jeremer Cabanag was also part of that.
Si Utoy Cabarcar.
Yes.
Nandun din. Saka si Art De La Cruz. Now it's Nem De La Cruz returning. Rafgo. 5 on her shot clock. Nem De La Cruz pulls up. Gets it in. That's his first field goal. Ito si Nem De La Cruz here.
And they need to get him going quickly here to avoid a big meltdown for the Shoemasters. Already down by 22 points after that Tayong Tong basket inside.
Joko. Now it's Jeff Banday stealing the pocket of Escoto for that layup.
That's one thing that many of the young guards in the league have to really know how to play against guards who are very adept at going for that steal when the player that they're guarding goes for that spin move.
One and done by Marikina. 10 turnovers leading to 16 turnover points for Caloocan. Foul given up as Tayong Tong got to the cup. Play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Marikina just continues to be broken down defensively here by the Caloocan Batang Kangkalu. Tayong Tong is having a field day so far here at the start of the second quarter.
Former EAC General, Joko Tayong-Tong.
And not just any general, the former King General.
Yeah. Curiously though, just shooting 1 of 14 from 3 this season. To si Joko.
Well, in my opinion, he has always been a better driver of the basketball more than an outside shooter. Whenever he tries to go inside, that's where he's more successful rather than settling for outside shots. And I think when he gets into the paint, mas marami siyang nagagawa eh.
Getting a lot of attempts from the line as well. Escoto receives that pass from De La Cruz. 42-16, just like that, a 26-point lead for Caloocan. Great cut, De La Cruz in trouble, but able to make it anyway, plus a foul.
Making nothing into something. Ito si Nem De La Cruz. I thought he was deep inside and I didn't think he would have a good attempt. But somehow, some way, gets it to go.
Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. This free throw, good. Nem De La Cruz with 7 points. Actually had a basket in the first quarter, so 3 field goals made already for Nem. Josh Flores thought about it. Kicks it out to Jeff Manday. Skip pass, Tayong Tong. Fakes, pulls up. By Tiong, able to give them another possession. Coach Mike Sagigit sues for time with 5 minutes and 21 seconds remaining. They're comfortably ahead, 42-19. Jeff Manday, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 of 10 shooting from the field. 7 of those points coming in the fourth quarter para dito kay Jeff Manday. And for more on Jeff, punta natin si Lyra.
Jeff Manday took their recent loss to Quezon as a much-needed wake-up call. Ang layo pa naman ng biyahe tapos talo, he jokingly said, kaya bounce back talaga. What struck him most was Coach Mike Sagigit's now iconic analogy of the lion and spider. Tumatak daw talaga ito sa kanya and it's been fueling his mindset ever since. Kapag spider ka na parang nasa survival mode, wala kang ibang choice kundi i-maximize ang killer instinct mo, he said. With this renewed perspective, expect Jeff and the rest of Caloocan to move sharper and hungrier moving forward. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. And si Jeff Manday, no, has found a stroke in the last 3 games. And, it's just only a matter of time, especially if both he and Jeremy Cabana could click at the right time para dito sa Caloocan.
And now I'm curious what Coach Mike says about the lion.
Oo nga eh.
Lion and the spider.
Kaya nga eh. Ayoko tanungin noon namin kasi baka akala ko ako lang hindi alam yung analogy na yun eh.
Hindi, ako rin eh. First time to hear it, but that's definitely a beautiful touch by Coach Mike Sagigit.
42-21 always puts things into perspective. Ito si Coach Mike.
And you just love it when you have a coach something from literature.
Yeah.
It makes things more emotional and more inspirational. Sometimes that's exactly what players need to get them going.
Rafco, long 2-point attempt, no good. Manday pushing it. You know, Jeff Manday is deceptively quick, but he took an extra step.
Yeah. Got the basketball on the other side, almost went coast to coast, just took one extra step there.
has that burst of speed. Di natin masyadong nakikita yan sa 3x3 circuit eh. Pero yung end-to-end speed niya is really one of the best here sa ating liga. More than just a shooter, ito si Jeff Manday.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Carl Peñano, malakas lang. Manday again. Shut down by Escoto. Nakasundot si Peñano sa likod, di nakita ni Joko. Jetro to Carl Peñano, this time with a goofy handed layup.
And nothing much Tayong Tong could have done there. Peñano with the obvious height advantage.
Fast break of the game. Brought to you by Extreme X Play. On the go speaker, take your music anywhere.
Escoto making the right decision to go forward to his big man and reward him for running the floor after that turnover.
Another timeout by Caloocan. Their lead has been chopped down to 19. Carl Peñano against Pangasinan, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 66.7% from the field, 6 of 9 shooting. And the former NU Bullpup certainly needs to step up here without Mike Machon. 7 points and 2 assists so far here. 42-23. Oh, the spinaroo from Irvin Palencia, but can't finish. Ball will stay with Caloocan.
Everything but the shot there para kay Irvin Palencia. I wonder how hard it is for the other guards of Caloocan in practice to try and keep up with both Palencia and Jeff Manday.
Kalahat catches the pass. Free for a free. Josh Flores nails that one from the right corner.
Palencia was on there in between to try and set up a flare screen, but didn't even need it because there was nobody to try and challenge that shot by Flores, who gets the steal here.
Palencia. Back to Josh Flores. The pass inside. Manlangit had to adjust. Forcing up that miss. Ball swing to Grafgo inside. Carl Peñano carving out space, but Kalahat stood his ground. Rebound by Manlangit. Manday straight away free. Jeff Manday just oozing with confidence. 3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
One of the quickest releases in this Caloocan squad from the outside. Manday knocking down Caloocan's 6th 3-point shot of the game. He now has 8 points.
6-0 run by Caloocan, forcing the hand of Marikina to call for time. Next 3 games of Caloocan on June 23 against Manila Batang Quiapo, on June 28 kalaban ng Abra Solid North Weavers, on July 7 is a date with Pasig City. Especially those games against Abra and Pasig City, both in the North Division.
I'm sure isa yan sa mga games na talagang nakamarka sa kanilang kalendaryo. Especially that game against Abra.
Yeah. Fadeaway jumper won't work for Nem de la Cruz. Flores off the bounce. Pulls it back out. Manlangit to Kalahat. 2 minutes remaining in the second period. Sa poste pupunta si Josh Flores. Manlangit going right at Carl Peñano. got caught stepping out of bounds after grabbing the offensive board. 25-point lead. Landayan against Palencia. Using those two screens, ball ends up with Rafgo. De La Cruz. Ginugulo ni Josh Flores. Nem. And got pushed. Got bumped actually while issuing that pass.
At that time, Caloocan just choosing to clog the lane for Nem De La Cruz instead of staying home on the corner shooter. That was Rafael Gore, not really a very decent three-point shooter yet in this league.
First 14 for Marikina. Baseline inbound. Rafgo drives right, getting past his defender. Will be rewarded with 2 shots at the line.
But you see the potential that this young man has. Ito si Rafael Go. Only averaging close to 5 points per game this season. But you see the physical attributes that he has. That's enough for him to be a rising star in this league. I think it's just a matter of him gaining more confidence in himself. I think this is the perfect team for him to be in right now to showcase his talents.
Former Gilas Youth member, Rafael Go. JJ Manlangit. Cabanag. Kalahat at the elbow, pulls it back out to Irvin Palencia. 6 under shot clock. Kalahat open for free. Knocks that one down.
That too is a part of his game na talagang nai-improve niya this season. From a guy who used to only shoot occasional threes and also occasionally just made them, he has really put up his percentage to 38.1% from the outside this year.
Landayan answers back with a three of his own. 51-28. 23-point lead. Cabanag actually got hit in the head. No foul call. Zabales to Rafgo. Peeks at the clock. About a second differential between shot and game clock. Silas Sabale takes that free off to the right. Forward pass, Josh Flores. Manlangit is free underneath. Cabanag puts it up, puts it in. But they will not count the basket. Nasa kamay pa daw, sabi ni referee J. Castroverde. We'll take a look at this one. Yeah. Yep. Good call. Still in his hands, clearly. But good attempt from Jeremy Cabanag. Nonetheless, malaki pa rin naman ang namang ng Caloocan Batang Kangkalu kontra Marikina. It's 51-28 at the half.
I came from nothing. Just a small boy from streets of General Santos City. No shoes, no food, no chance, just a dream in my heart. From flyweight to junior middleweight, 8 divisions. Thank you. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang bawat Pilipino nangangarap at lumalaban. This is our victory. This is our story. And the best is yet to come.
Manny Pacquiao is annihilating Oscar De La Hoya. That is the most spectacular one-punch shot of Manny Pacquiao's incredible career. And he fights his way off and goes down again. Straight left land for Manny. Does he have Colo in trouble? Manny Pacquiao is a storm. Another huge left hand by Pacquiao. Punch after punch after punch. And he backs the straight left hand. And there's the punching down. Look at the brilliant accuracy of Manny Pacquiao. Landing with both right and left hands. This is why we use the word sensation.
Lastimosa, foot on the line. Still no go, and Larry Rodriguez doing a terrific
What a
job.
pass.
Wow! And Tolentino with a finish. Saktong-sakto.
I don't know who that was, but it looked to be Larry Patrick Mahomes Rodriguez.
Hindi ba Tom Brady yun? What a pass.
Ang mahirap pa sa pasa na yon, got the rebound in traffic, halos malapit na siya dun sa baseline, no, sa linya ng binyan. But the look ahead sa kabilang court, and obviously yung pag-execute ng pasa.
Pinan went too early. Gives an opportunity for Batangas, but Kipido getting the steal. Enough time for Pasig City. 5 seconds remaining. Manalang gets it back. Warlo Batak. Tax Bindel lays it up and in to beat the buzzer.
The young Warlo Batak making the right decision, not going for the three-point shot. He knew that he had it in him to be able to beat the clock by attacking the basket and still getting a high percentage shot.
Turco, it ends up as a turnover. Takbo si Jeff Comia. Comia stays in control, and Comia with a beautiful finish.
Sometimes you think that he's already out of control, but he really is in control. Gets another wily shot right there to not just entertain the crowd here, but to also extend this Davao lead.
Ano ba yun? Semi-Smithy ba yun?
Yeah, looking one way and going the other.
Moralde misses the layup.
Trying to fish for a foul, 2-on-1 coming up.
Sumido! Oh, Lander Cannon.
Pumatay ng lamok dun sa palpal na yun. Kita mo naman yung palpal na to, determinado. Uy, back-to-back blocks yun, ha?
Oh, dalawa.
By Mr. Cannon.
Well, Cannon has had a few highlights this season. No? Yung mga palpal niya.
Forward pass Perumingan to Chauca. Back to Tricky. Behind the back. Oh, what a pass to Sam Peralta for the deuce.
Practically a give and go. Tricky Peromingan gives it up to Val Chauca, then gets it back, and then another pass, a spectacular one behind the back to Sam Peralta.
Thompson as well.
Sa laki ni Camson, no? Oftentimes he would expect a strong finish. That time, little finesse.
Caballero finds Camson! Basket and one. What a pass from Caballero to Eric Camson. Terrific finish galing kay Eric
So
Camson.
itong kombinasyon na to by Keanu and Eric ngayong gabi has been really effective.
Just went through it. The defense. Oh!
What a shot to beat the buzzer. How about that from Kit Jimenez?
Kit Jimenez already with a bunch of points in this game. Still 3 seconds. That definitely is gonna count para kay Kit Jimenez.
John Fa with a steal. 8 minutes left. John Fa switching hands in midair and now has established his new career high of 26 points.
Determined. This kid, he will move heaven and earth just to try and carry his team. After that missed basket, you get the stop again. But now, it's back to a 60-point lead.
Wow! Wow! Where did that come from? Lawrence Paul Victoria gliding, hanging, and finishing. Look
Wow.
at this move.
Woo-wee! Me, oh my. Lawrence Paul, Victoria.
Yan ang inaabangan ng mga tao dito.
Nabuhay ang Pasay Astrodome.
Castro with the ball. 4-second differential. Game clock and shot clock. Cuevas drives. It's short. Osicos to Espiritu. And Bulacan with a chance to win this game. Sumido. 5 seconds. JR Sumido with a runner. Oh! JR Sumido with a basket to give Bulacan the lead and possibly their first win of the season.
Kakaiba yung tapang na pinakita ni JR Sumido ron. But this running shot momentum carrying him to the left side. Could be the possible game winner.
Big time plays from the Kuyas here down the stretch.
After 2 quarters, labang ng 23 puntos ang Caloocan kontra Marikina, 51-28. And Javi, the big story has been how Marikina has been constantly giving up the rock and giving up points as well to Caloocan.
One of the best defenses in the league itong Caloocan Batang Kakalo. Only giving up 72.5 points per game, and they limited Marikina to 14 points each in the first and second quarters. It's been that added intensity and that pressure of their defense that has prevented Marikina from scoring in this game. Most times they couldn't even get it inside where they have a better chance of scoring the basketball. Whenever they get into the paint, pababa na yung kanilang shot clock. They're more pressured to get into their shots. Mas rush na yung kanilang mga tira. Caloocan has been doing a good job of scoring as well in this game. Pati na rin galing sa labas. Already with 7 3-pointers in this game for the Batang Kakalo, 2 coming from Jeff Manday.
7 points each from Nem de la Cruz and Carl Peñano. Tig 10 puntos naman si JJ Manlangit and Romel Calahat. Amazingly, Caloocan is number 1 in terms of steals and blocks, 10.4 and 4.7 respectively. Now has 8 steals already in this ball game.
This is a team that has one of the best that have one of the best two-way players in this league.
Basco against Manlangit. 11 on their shot clock. Jetro Escoto. Again, nothing happening dito sa opensa ng Marikina. Nem de la Cruz got caught stepping on the half-court line. Backward violation called against Marikina.
Yeah, this is what I've been talking about. See, hindi nga umabot dun sa baba ng half-court nila yung bola. They just were passing it around on top. And it forced De La Cruz into that backcourt violation.
Joko Tayongtong, JJ Manlangit, Brian Enriquez, Alvin Baitiong, and Paul Sanga, the unit for Coach Mike Sagigit to begin the third. Sanga sidesteps into a free off the mark. Escoto grabs the board for the Shoe Masters, joined by Mong Basco, Carl Peñano, Nem de la Cruz, and Arthur Roque. It's Velasco who's in for Marikina. Escoto off the bounce, wala. JJ Manlangit secures his fifth board. Entry pass tapped loose by Carl Peñano. Ball will stay with Caloocan with 16 on their shot clock. Still without Chris Bitoon, but others have picked up the slack. They've been 3-1 under Coach Mike Sagigit as a foul called on that Manlangit incursion.
You could see the way that this ball moves para sa Caloocan. Much more fluid, definitely. Already with 13 assists in this game. Each guy really is buying into the system, knowing their roles, not trying to overdo things, not also underdoing it.
Let's go to Lyra.
Joseph Manlangit of Caloocan is keeping his feet firmly on the ground despite their current 5th place standing. Para sa kanya, hindi pa raw sila ka-level ng mga elite teams sa liga, kaya doble effort pa ang kailangan to stay in the shape for the upcoming playoffs. Hindi ako nag-iisip ng stats, he said. Role player lang ako. Gagawin ko lang yung part ko para mas makilala ang Caloocan bilang defensive team. He shared with his no-frills mindset and quiet consistency, Joseph continues to be one of the anchors of Caloocan's defensive identity, showing that heart and hustle matter more than headlines. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. Carlo Velasco bailing Marikina out with that jumper. But going back to JJ Manlangit. Served with the Makati team under Coach Cholo back in Season 3. Made the North Division Finals. Just lost to San Juan. And also blossomed in the 3x3 circuit. And now he's here as a homegrown player for Caloocan. Right on cue, knocking down that shot from the free throw line.
I remember his first game back here in the MPBL. Right away, won Player of the Game honors. And I was just really so impressed because that was the first time na napanood ko siya. I was just amazed at how well he balanced his game with inside points and the ability to shoot it from the mid and long range. Aside from the fact that he plays gritty defense as well, at that time coming up with a steal and leaving it for Paul Sanga forward.
Lead back to its biggest at 26 points, 56-30. Almost 3 minutes gone by in the third period. Carl Peñano backing down Alvin Baitiong. Kicks it out to De La Cruz. Escoto again. Shot clock winding down. Bounce pass, Carl Peñano from the elbow, wala. Escoto with a rebound. Mong Basco sets his feet. Can't hit that free.
I could have actually tried to make a hard cut going towards the middle, but Basco was just really waiting for that basketball to fall into his hand so that he could attempt a three-point shot. I believe it could have been an easier attempt for Marikina if they move forward.
Fast break of the game is brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners. Ang Extreme Magmalamig free installation for split-type air conditioners.
That turnover brings Marikina's error total to 13 in this game. And Caloocan has scored 18 points off those 13 turnovers.
57-30, 6 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. 27-point lead. 2 for 2 at the line for Brian Enriquez. Continue to amp the pressure and they get a steal. Number 1 in that category. Intended give and go. Not on the same page were Sanga and Manlangit. Carlo Velasco, bounce pass. Carl Peñano. And off to Nem de la Cruz. Whips a pass outside to Escoto. Again, the offense stalling. Escoto has to put up a shot from long range. Manlangit with another board, his 6th of the match. Pero naagaw ni Carlo Velasco from behind.
Didn't really have full control of the basketball enough. Ito si JJ Manlangit kaya nawala sa kanya yung bola. A rare turnover for Caloocan in this game.
Escoto off the bounce. De la Cruz, extra pass. Bong Basco can't hit that shot. Enriquez with his second board, or sorry, his first rebound. Valencia will reset their offense here. Baitiong goes right at his defender. What about that move from Alvin Baitiong?
Brute strength used there by Alvin Baitiong, putting the ball on the deck and overpowering Bong Basco.
Parang yung pinsan lang niya nung kahapon lang. Si Charles Baitiong.
Magpinsan pala sila.
Magpinsan sila.
Kaya pala pareho ng galaw eh.
Oo. Escoto, 2 seconds left. Still nothing from the outside for Marikina. They've been getting some second chance opportunities though. Peñano recovers. Shot clock again winding down on Marikina. Caloocan. Now it's Enriquez. Knocks down that three-pointer. It's up to 33 points, 63-30.
8 points now in the game for Enriquez, and he's taking advantage of those open looks that he's been getting from the outside dito sa laro na to.
This is Jetro Escoto. Peñano. This time backing down JJ Manlangit. Escoto kanina pa pumupukol sa labas, kanina pa rin nagmimintis. Nagawan sa bola. Sanga tried to save it. They indeed get back to possession here. 3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances. This was that free from Brian Enriquez.
A three-pointer number 8 for the Batang Kankalu in this game. While Marikina only able to make 3 out of 13 shots from downtown sa laro na to. And it's been a poor excuse for them just to put up an attempt in their half court going for those 3-point shots. Dahil most of the time, we've said it a number of times in this game, the ball doesn't even reach towards the lower half nung kanilang opensa.
May balita muna tayo kay Miss Lyra Punsalan.
Coach Angelo Nebres of Marikina acknowledges the tough road ahead with only 12 players available for today's game. But despite the challenge, he remains proud of his squad. Role players talaga ang mga to. They do their best to fill in the gaps kahit kulang kami sa rotation. For now, Coach Angelo said that the focus is not just on the present but also on what lies ahead. We're just trying to see the differences going into the next season kasi ngayon wala kaming magagawa. We're really still solidifying our roster. Marikina may be short on manpower but they continue to show it with heart, grit, and a clear vision for growth. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. And the young coach, Coach Angelo Nebres, tasked to steady the ship para dito sa Marikina. Has one win under his belt. Traveled to Abra. Play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Another option of the triangle when you get it on the strong side, you have the pinch post flash to the middle instead of getting it at the elbow. Naturally, the player on top goes back door. That's exactly what happened for the Batang Kankalu in their last play.
Isa sa mga favorite plays ni Coach Mike Perez yan, yung blind pick. Jeremy Cabanag. 12 under shot clock. Manday. Inside. Kalahat will go to the line for 2 shots.
Definitely a foul there. Very obvious. Di Mayuga trying to undercut Kalahat on that shot inside.
Rafgo comes in for Marikina. Romel Kalahat in his last 7 games, averaging 13.3 points on 50.9% shooting from the field. Those are close to his averages in the NCAA, as this free throw din sa atin Extreme Appliances ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
But it's impressive that he's able to put up those kinds of numbers here in the pros, where he's going up against much more experienced players and players with more talent.
Caloocan is 11 of 12 at the line, and Kalahat perfect from the field. 4 of 4, a total of 12 points. 36-point lead for the Batang Kangkalu. Udal, pasa kay Landayan. Finally, nails that three-pointer.
Nothing much you can do there defensively para sa Batang Kangkalu. Marikina got that ball moving left to right, back to the other side, and they were able to get a basket off that handoff coming from Jomel Landayan.
Manday will reload for Caloocan. 5 on their shot clock. Jeff Manday, great feed inside to Jesse Sumoda.
Yung acceleration ni Manday, yung hindi nakakapaniwala, no?
May sudden burst of speed talaga siya.
Because there are players that are fast, but konti lang yung mga players na talagang kayang magkaroon ng ganong klaseng burst of speed.
Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Yung twitch dun sa step ni Jeff Manday.
And that's what we usually refer to as explosiveness. That's something that players actually need to work on, pero may iba rin na natural na rin para sa kanila eh.
69-34. Imayuga floats it up. Manday grabs the rebound. Set up the offense. And also blessing in disguise yung injury ni Chris Biton. It has enabled Coach Mike to experiment itong playmaking abilities ni Jeff Manday at Jeremy Cabanag. Because they've been exchanging playmaking duties as the backcourt right now para dito sa Caloocan.
In this kind of system that he is implementing, versatility is definitely the name of the game. And actually, one of the more positionless offenses to, kasi anybody can actually play any spot here in this triangle system. It doesn't necessarily have to be that big man on the block all the time. In fact, Chicago and LA under Phil Jackson used to put Michael Jordan a lot on that block on the strong side or on the pinch post.
Point guard nila, laki no, on Harper.
Yeah.
Si Coach Christian ganun di ba? Malaking point guard siya nung nasa UST siya He was playing with the likes of Nino Gelig, Cyrus Baguio.
Do it all siya
Oo. Kaya nga, MVP ba siya nung liga nila?
Hindi ko alam kung may awarding na
Okay.
Pero siya yata yung nangunguna sa statistical race. Dahil across the board yung kanyang stats.
Di ba pala kasi tapos yun? Game 1 pa lang pala. Ay ano ba? Or knockout finals lang ba yun?
Oh, game 1. Best of 3 series yun
James Yap versus Chris Chu. Ganda nun.
And Joseph Yo.
Oo. Yung nakakatuwa sa team na yun magkasama yung Chris Chu saka Joseph Yo in one team. And this is Jomel Landayan, got blocked by Jeremy Cabanag.
Just no let up for Caloocan in this game. They're playing with that kind of intensity defensively for the entire game, and they don't care what the score is. They're gonna keep doing this.
Highlights of the game brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
Fast break in the half court from the outside. They're scoring a number of ways sa laro na to. 57% from the field for the Caloocan Batang Kankalu, and the offense has been spread out among many players for them in this game.
Pagkatapos ng third quarter, 37 points ang naibaon na lamang ng Caloocan kontra Marikina, 71-34. Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. And nandito po tayo sa Pasay Astrodome. And it's Marikina, Caloocan locking horns in the second game of our Monday triple header. As we check out our Gixxer fan of the game, born for greatness.
The wax row of the Caloocan Batang Kankalu.
Deo Timajo is in attendance. Playing for Paranaque, former Marikina shoemaster.
Mel Mabigat is also there.
Wearing street clothes. Mabigat is playing for Val City, di ba?
Yeah, but he is also on the move.
Okay. That's why. May mga ano na tayo eh. May mga sightings na tayo from other teams eh. Like I think confirmed na no, si Marian Magat is gonna play for Mindoro.
Oh, okay.
And then for Abra, I saw Simon Camacho.
Yeah, he was in an Abra shirt behind the Abra bench.
Yeah. Quarter scoring natin, pretty much dominant ang Caloocan, especially in the first and third quarters.
With that third quarter in particular, holding down Marikina to just 6 points.
Joggy Laude at the line. Yung mga kabiruan niya dyan, si Kudal ba?
Hindi, yung mga boss ng Caloocan.
Ay, mga boss! Oh. LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL.
The professor knocking down 2 out of 2 shots from the charity stripe.
Okay. Subic legend to si Joggy Laude. Si Chome Landayan laban kay Jeff Banday. Binigay kay Rafgo. Mayuga has yet to buy himself some field goals here. Kudal. Pupuhol. Shot clock winding down again on Marikina. One and done by the Shoemasters.
We've seen a lot of late shot clock situations for Marikina in this game, which has led them to a lot of misses. And there once again, line big action, backdoor play. This time it's Jeff Banday, the beneficiary of that nice bounce pass.
Jeff Banday pouring up the points here for Caloocan. Up to 10. Matching his average. Rafgo, tough shot, short. Matias the rebound. And Caloocan, usually during this part of the season, Javi, sila yung na-overlook eh. Kasi lagi sila nandyan sa gitna ng top 8 teams. Siyempre ngayon nag-iinit yung mga nasa taas. Nueva Ecija, Abra, San Juan, Pampanga. But this Caloocan squad is right in there with a 10-5 record.
Yeah, I think many teams just tend to overlook this Batang Kankalu team, which is actually very unbelievable considering the noise that they're making right now, especially with Jeff Banday providing that scoring punch para sa kanila. Pero sa tingin ko, it's because of the veterans in their team na siguro expected na ng lahat ng tao na ganito yung dapat naging performance nila.
5 straight points by Jeff Banday, that layup, and then the 3-point shot from the left corner pocket, increasing their lead to its biggest right now at 44 points, 78-34. MGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. This is the fan outfit of the game. Nandito pa rin po tayo sa Pasay Astrodome. Coach Angelo Nebres searching for answers. Lumobo na ng tuluyan itong kalamangan ng Caloocan with 8 minutes and 11 seconds left. A great way to bounce back against that tough road loss against Quezon. If you're Caloocan, Escoto has been silenced here by that stingy defense of the Batang Kangkalu. Peñano at the post. Oh, able to elude Ronnie Matias, but everything but the shot right there.
Now, Carpel Peñano has had some good moves in the post in this game. He has shown us excellent footwork, but hasn't been able to finish a lot of his baskets.
Kick ball violation. Shot clock will reset to 14. Coach Angelo Nebres. Sa kabilang panig, may timeout na hiniling si Coach Mike Sagigit. At ganun pa rin ang lamang nila, 44 points. 7 minutes and 35 seconds left. We'll be back after the short break. Special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. Second game of our Monday triple header. And later on, the Pasay Voyagers will take on the Davao Occidental Tigers. Some familiar faces in the building. And, good time to watch dito on a Monday night. Lipo Ken Panglinan with Javi Palanya at courtside. Kasama namin si Miss Lyra Punsalan. Caloocan, just from the get-go, had their way, clamping down on defense, forcing turnovers, getting into transition. Escoto experiencing a lot of discomfort dito sa depensang pinapakita ng Caloocan. Sabale goes to Pasajeros off the bounce, got clipped as he threw out that pass. DJ Manlangit called for that foul. Silang dalawa ni Jeff Manday, each with 13 points. Teammates recently, and they had a stint for the Gilas 3x3 squad. With Joseph Sedorifa in there. Casajeros connects on that three-pointer.
I think one of the missing links in this game is to see our Casajeros. That's his first field goal and only his second attempt from the field in this game, while Caloocan continues to remain fluid offensively here.
Exquisite shot making there by Jerome Cabanag, up to 8 points. Of shot makers para dito sa Caloocan.
And the beauty of it is they don't even need to do it individually. They're doing it well within the flow of the offense. You're not seeing guys having multiple dribbles, at most siguro mga 1 or 2, but just short movements needed here in the half court for the Batang Kangkalu. That's why it's very pleasing to the eyes to watch them play.
Cabanag. Escoto got a piece of that one, finally completing it. Gets the steal. 80-39. Gentro Escoto has mostly handled the rock for Marikina. Sabale inside. Peñano with the basket. Up to to 9 points. Carl Peñano. Cabanak got bumped. Thought he got fouled, but nonetheless though, ball will stay with Caloocan. A lot of contact on that drive. Zuber returns for Caloocan as well as Brian Enriquez. Lobs it up to Manlangit. Jeff Manday, left corner pocket. Zuber with a rebound, foul call on Caloocan. Carl called for second foul. And should Caloocan win this one, they will move up. Well, they will win this one. They will move up to 11 and 5. Still behind Pampanga. But yung logjam dyan, Javi, no? Involving Pampanga, Pangasinan. Especially with Pangasinan losing against Abra. There's a window of opportunity for Caloocan to move up here.
Yeah, and important that they try to zero in on that position that Pampanga currently holds right now, because alam naman natin that going into the playoffs, the top 4 teams will be getting home court advantage. But still a long way to go. This is far from over. The team positionings in our 2 divisions are definitely not yet final. Still a long way to go. Marami pang games na lalaruin, and by the way this season has turned out, I expect more surprises to happen moving on.
Yeah, especially with yung window natin ngayon for trades and free agent acquisitions.
Yeah, some teams at the bottom might just suddenly turn the Jets up and might give us a good run for the positions of the other teams at top.
This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. There's a couple of changes might swing things in your favor. And let's not forget, there are certain people who signed up the beginning of the season have yet to play. Those are mostly big, di naman big names, but notable names that could really help some teams down the road. Mga iba dyan, mga ano yan eh, mga galing PBA yan.
Yeah, and I think very notably on top of my head, San Juan and Pangasinan will be bringing in some heavy acquisitions.
Kausap ko si Coach Gerson, excited na siya doon sa isa. Dati niyang player. Naglaro na rin sa MPBL. Abangan niyo, sino yan? If you've been watching since the first season, you'd know who that guy is.
Clue na lang, kaliwete siya.
Oo. Was part of that team that made it all the way to the division finals. And just fell 1 game short of reaching the finals that season. At meron din naman sa Gensan. Napaka-colorful ng player na yun, Javi.
Sa Gensan, meron din?
Meron!
I forget. Nawawala sa isip ko bigla.
Ito, bigyan kitang clue. Basta makulay yun. Palagay ko, siya yung player na iba't iba yung kulay ng buhok kada laro. And, you know, he had an inspiring story kasi mga galing lang siya sa mga recreational leagues, move his way up, eventually found himself in the PBA, had a good stint with 2 teams. Pero yun eh, nasa ano nila yan eh, their back pocket. Siyempre sa Batangas, meron din isa dyan. Abangan nyo rin yun.
And I believe Zamboanga is also bringing in 1 to 2 players.
Okay. How about Zamboanga though, Javi? They showed...
Oh yeah, statement game despite the
that was
loss.
a statement game, yeah. Because kahit na sila yung number 1 for quite some time, And there were still questions on whether they were a legitimate contender in the South. But boy, those answers, those questions, answered emphatically despite that defeat in Palayan City.
Yeah, and I think had it not been for Roy Sumang getting injured towards the latter part of that game, they could have had a good chance to close it out with a victory.
They were probably just one free throw away from sealing that win. But, you know, you gotta give credit to the championship battle of Nueva Ecija.
Oh yeah, I mean, the fact that Reg Gabat missed some free throws in the end was really big para sa kanila. That might have cost them the game.
Jetro Escoto to Rafgo inside. Peñano napayungan at nakabingwit ng foul laban kay June Bonsubre. 2:32 left in the fourth. Balik sa free throw line si Carl Peñano.
I really like how this guy moves. Ito si Carl Peñano. Ganda ng footwork. I think he just really needs to work on his finishes, but he does possess some good moves in his bag.
Pwede niya i-model yung laro niya kay Christian Manaytay.
Actually,
Di ba?
or maybe even Art de la Cruz.
Pwede din. Those guys have exquisite footwork for a big. Ryan Enriquez with a layup. 86-47. Final score na lang inihintay natin dito. Then De La Cruz was silence here for Marikina.
Yeah, only 7 points on 3 out of 4 shooting actually. Efficient showing, but the attempts not really the type that we would see Nem De La Cruz taking in the game.
Ryan Enriquez with a gorgeous feed to JJ Manlangit. Fell down on the floor. Looks like he's okay though. Oh, but
I think he has a bloody nose.
let's see here.
Sa ilong ba o sa bibig? Sa pool no?
Oo, sa pool siya ni RR. He's not happy with that hit. Oh, man.
That's definitely gonna be an unspoil. I highly doubt that they would not call it. They should call it.
Alright, we'll pause for a break. Lamang pa rin ang Caloocan by 41. Ryan Enriquez certainly not happy after he got clipped there by RR Casajeros. Actually, RR is being treated at the sideline. So meron din siyang tama dun sa kanyang kanang kamay.
Oh, but Enriquez looks to be fine, and they did not call anything.
Yeah. 1:40 left. Don't want anything untoward to happen here, especially with the game secured para dito sa Caloocan. De La Cruz goes right at Enriquez. Tantayan had time to set his feet. Forward pass, Bonsubre gets it to Enriquez, takes that free and makes it.
Playing his best game of the season thus far. Ito si Brian Enriquez, and he really feels good about that shot, especially after being hit a while ago.
He is fired up, Brian Enriquez.
13 points in the game para kay Brian Enriquez.
One-on-one against Nem De La Cruz. De La Cruz missing on that outside shot.
17.5 points per game this season, but only 7 points.
Yeah.
Definitely unforgivable if you are the best player of your team to only attempt that much and shoot that kind of total.
Enriquez missing that long free. Sanga, pupukol ng long two-pointer. Just inside the arc.
Rarely do you see Paul Sang trying to put the ball on the floor and shooting it off the bounce.
Having a showdown between De La Cruz and Brian Enriquez. They're talking to each other. But I think De La Cruz will not get off a shot. And that is the final buzzer. Some extracurricular activities to end the game. But nonetheless, Caloocan getting the win. Gixer, great move of the game. Born for greatness. Alvin Baitiong getting past Carl Peñano for that left-handed layup. That was back in the third quarter. And a lot of contributors in this impressive win ng Caloocan kontra dito sa Marikina.
Enriquez had a good game. 15 points para sa kanya. Kalahat had 12. Manday had 13. But I had to give it to Manlangit, who had a good all-around performance in this one. 15 points, 6 out of 8 shooting, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists plus a steal.
Best player of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. And JJ Manlangit, very versatile forward para sa Caloocan. And getting it done on both sides of the floor. And JJ Manlangit helping Caloocan secure their 11th victory of the season. Our final score, 47 for the Marikina Shoemasters, 93 para dito sa Caloocan Batang Kangkalu. Punta na natin si Miss Lyra Punsalan.
Joseph, congratulations on your first ever Best Player Award para sa Caloocan Batang Kangkalu. Sinabi mo kanina, it's never really about the stats for you. Talagang tinatrabaho mo lang kung paano ka mas makakapag-contribute para mas maging makilala kayo as a defensive team. Ano sa tingin mo yung area na nag-step up ka pa para mas maging posible ito ngayong gabi?
Ganun pa rin, yung role ko, ginawa ko lang. Tapos, yung sinunod lang namin yung system nila coach. Tapos, yun. Okay naman, click naman.
And kinocultivate nyo talaga yung collective effort sa inyong team. Ano pa sa tingin mo yung vision nyo on your next games?
Siyempre, kailangan pa rin namin na mag-hard work kasi hindi naman biro yung mga susunod na mga kalaban namin sa katapusan, kalaban namin against Abra. Pero bago yun, may Manila pa kami. Kailangan makuha rin namin yung panalo doon.
May mga gusto ka pa bang pasalamatan, Joseph?
Unang-una, nagpapasalamat kami kay Lord. Siyempre, kundi dahil sa kanya, hindi namin makakuha itong panalo. Thank you rin. Happy birthday kay Boss Kong Oka, Malapitan. Tapos kay Boss Mark of YM Cargo. Tapos nagpapasalamat din kami kay Mayor Along Malapitan, kala Consi Enteng Malapitan, Lexi Malapitan, at sa mga sponsors, thank you. Yan Coolers, High Top LPG, Stay Cool Clothing, World Balance, Mandarin Sky, Father Ruel na nasa Jerusalem, Pastor Jerry of GCF Caloocan, George Chua of Jack Liner, tsaka yung Manlangit, tsaka Arevalo family. Tsaka binabati ko yung wife ko, tsaka yung baby ko, si Rosie.
Thank you so much, Joseph Manlangit of the Caloocan Batang Kangkalus. Our best player of the game is brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. Nice birthday present for Congressman Oka Malapitan. And up next, our main game, it's the Davao Occidental Tigers Season 3 champions. Kalaban ang kupunan that will defend their home turf, the Pasay Voyagers. Stay tuned, magbabalik ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.